What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having an amazing day. As always, I'm going to talk about the breaking news that is very alarming, very disturbing, and quite frankly, a very disgusting mistake, which is that Hawaii sent out an Amber Alert style alert to everybody's cell phone saying that a ballistic missile was hitting Hawaii, and it's not even true at all. And then I'm going to tell you about the aftermath of what people are saying about it. So stay tuned for about 25 seconds. I'm going to wait till everybody gets into the live stream. As always, you can follow me on Instagram at DreamRare. That's DreamRare. And that is also the name of my website that has shirts and hats, dreamrare.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Legendary Energy. Of course, stay tuned on Facebook. And let's wait about 20 more seconds. So, hello, Lisa. Hello, Eric. Thank you guys so much for joining. I know it's the weekend. Usually I take a break, but I just had to report on this since other people were. It's everywhere. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's talking about it. But what's disgusting to me is the response from one of my favorite Democrat politicians, and one of the only Democrats that I even remotely like and who I've met in person, which is Tulsi Gabbard. And unfortunately, her reaction is a little bit disturbing as well. So the news is, now that people are getting in, you've probably heard, you've seen on social media, the Hawaii sent out an Amber Alert style message to everybody's phone. Everybody got it, and it said emergency alert. Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. In all caps, Amber Alert style message blinking on your phone. We all know what those are. And everybody freaked out. Of course they have. I've been to Hawaii. I plan to go back to Hawaii. I love Hawaii. I love the people of Hawaii. I love the culture. I love the nature. It's very, very disturbing that someone would somehow make a mistake and send out a message like this to everybody's phone. So what happened, apparently, according to the governor, David Ige, or I-G-E, that's his name, David Ige, he said in a press conference this afternoon, an error was made in emergency management which allowed this false alarm to be sent. It was a procedure that occurs at the change of a shift, enabling us to make sure that the system is working. And an employee pushed the wrong button. So apparently that's how these style alerts happen. They don't type them out. There's no sort of checks or balances, I guess. You just push a button, literally just push a button, and the alert goes out to everybody. And they have a ballistic missile alert. Understandable. So this happened, and I couldn't help but think, besides the fact that I'm thinking, I hope everybody's okay. I feel bad for people in Hawaii. I couldn't help but think, why did they do this? This is some sort of psyops. It's some sort of scare tactic. And like everything that happens, people are going to lie about it, politicize it, and inevitably blame it on President Donald Trump. And of course, when it has to do with ballistic missiles, North Korea, Hawaii, President Trump gets blamed for everything, every tweet. Certain ones are understandable when he says stuff and eggs the North Korean leader on. I can understand the blowback from people who live in Hawaii or South Korea or even California or anywhere. I understand the debate. I understand why people would be uncomfortable. That I understand. Personally, I don't mind it. Other people do, but that's America. That's the world we live in. Freedom of opinions, freedom of thought, freedom of strategy. I don't try to shut down other people's opinions and thoughts. I'm like, I don't agree with you, but you're allowed to think that way. So my favorite, it's no surprise and no secret, my favorite politician, Democratic politician, I often reference as the only Democratic politician that I even remotely trust, and I usually put her a peg down below Rand Paul, which is Tulsi Gabbard. And the reason I like her is because she put forth legislation on behalf of the help of Rand Paul, which was called the Stop Arming Terrorists Act. Very important. She was on CNN, Jake Tapper. Her interviews alone with Jake Tapper already makes her legendary, and it puts her 20 steps above any other Democratic politician because they all just lie. Unfortunately, I'm, a liberal at heart. I believe in peace, prosperity, the working class, whatnot. But modern-day Democrats are, unfortunately, a complete psyops. They use the failures and the flaws of the Republican Party and to Donald Trump to shield the fact that they have no solutions, no strategy, no honesty, no integrity, no plans, no anything, no love for America, no love for Americans, no love for the working class, no love for the middle class, no love for companies, no love for anything, no love for small businesses. The modern day Democrats, and I've recently had a conversation with my liberal friend who agreed. I was like, come on, bro, as liberals, we got to fix the Democratic Party. They're complete trash. They're the trashiest of the trashiest of the trashiest. And like I said with Tulsi Gabbard, I loved her because she put forth the Stop Arming Terrorists Act. I thought it was great. She was calling out our intelligence communities and the government, the federal government, saying that our taxpayer dollars were going in the hands of ISIS and Al-Qaeda. But one thing that, and I've met Tulsi Gabbard in person. I went to her town hall. I think she's a beautiful person. I think she's a beautiful soul. And I really, unfortunately, I don't even want to say this because I don't like to attack people. I'm a loving person. I'm not a hateful, low-energy crab journalist that wants to tear everybody down. But I just got to call it like I see it. That's why I'm here. And one thing that was a red flag, before I get into the disgusting thing that she wrote about Donald Trump after this ballistic missile attack, is one thing that was fishy to me is she was talking about not arming moderate rebels in Syria. That was like her main cause. She said, we're arming moderate rebels, we're arming terrorists in Syria, we have to stop the regime change war. What did President Donald Trump do? He reversed the policy. It was a CIA policy, a deep federal government policy, that did exactly what Tulsi Gabbard wanted to do. He stopped the funding to moderate rebels, and Syria has since benefited greatly from what President Trump did. And my red flag from Tulsi Gabbard, after campaigning on it for a year, after talking about it for a year, as soon as President Trump did that, she didn't say a word about it. She went on Fox News, mentioned it. She didn't make a social media post about it. She didn't really, talk about it at all. So I was kind of confused. I was like, why is Tulsi Gabbard, who's an amazing person, who has campaigned against the regime change war in Syria, she's went to Syria, spoken to Syrian people, after campaigning for 2 years, why would she be nearly completely silent about the fact that she got what she wanted? Because unfortunately, even though I think she's a great person, a great soul, a great spirit, I don't understand Democratic politicians. They don't want solutions. They don't want to reach across the aisle and make a connection with conservatives. They don't want to, pat Donald Trump on the back when he does something right. All they want to do is use race, religion, and gender. Unfortunately, I don't know why they think this is a good idea, to divide us and to use that to act like they're better people than everyone else. So I'm going to read exactly what Tulsi Gabbard wrote. I have some friends who live in Hawaii who showed this to me, and they thought it was great. They thought this was perfect. Some people, I'm already reading in the comments, they're saying, she incorporates the aloha spirit, which I believe she does. She's a very kind-hearted soul. She has energy of Hawaii. I love, like I said, she's my favorite Democrat. That's why it's really upsetting that somehow she blamed the failures, in my opinion, possibly purposely, because I find it very hard to believe that you send out a ballistic missile alert to everybody, and then all of a sudden you twist it and blame Donald Trump. So this is what she wrote on her Facebook page and her Twitter page. Today, the people of Hawaii got a sense of the stark reality of what a nuclear strike on Hawaii would be. Cell phones across Hawaii got a message saying a ballistic missile is incoming. Take shelter. Over 1 million of Hawaii's people were faced with the immediate reality of having 15 minutes to find a place to take shelter, wondering where do I have to go? Wondering where do I go? What shelter is going to protect me and my family from a nuclear bomb? But there's nowhere to go. Nowhere to hide. The people of Hawaii experience that in 15 minutes, they and their families are going to be dead, gone. That is what they just went through. Everyone in American, she spelled wrong, it's okay, needs to understand that if you had to go through this, you would be as angry as I am. I have been talking about the seriousness of this threat for years. Our leaders have failed us for decades. Refuse to take this threat seriously and prevent a nuclear North Korea. And the people of Hawaii are now paying the price. Hawaii's never been hit by a nuclear missile. I think that's a little bit overreacting, but we'll save it for later. Donald Trump is taking too long. Now is not the time for posturing. He must take this threat seriously and begin direct talks with North Korea without preconditions to de-escalate and denuclearize the Korean Peninsula. There is no time to waste. The people of Hawaii should never have to go through this. They wouldn't have gone through that if someone didn't send out a fake message. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. They never should and will have to go through that if someone didn't hit the wrong button in the Hawaiian government. But the people of America should not be faced with this threat right now. We need peace, not political bickering. We have to talk to North Korea and find peace to get a peaceful path to get rid of this nuclear threat. So I agree with the message of what she's saying. We need to talk to North Korea. In my studies, unfortunately, this is going to sound funny that I'm saying this, but Dennis Rodman is one of the unofficial ambassadors to North Korea. He's friends with Kim Jong-un and potentially is like the only one who talks to him and hangs out with him. So I read an interview, I can't remember exactly what magazine, I think it was GQ or something, and Dennis Rodman said something that really sparked interest and confusion in me. He said that North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un, this was under the Obama administration, Kim Jong-un loves America. It's clear with his obsession with NBA basketball. He loves the Bulls, he loves the NBA, he loves basketball. He said that Kim Jong-un wanted to talk to Obama. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to have a friendly conversation with Obama. Obama never spoke to Kim Jong-un. So Kim Jong-un was open the whole time to talking to Barack Obama, and Obama didn't want to do it. The news never really gave it a chance. President Trump has already been a revolutionary president in the fact he wants to talk to Kim Jong-un. He has said multiple times on camera, on social media, he's telling the American press, he's telling North Korea, he wants to talk to Kim Jong-un. He wants to solve peace. Dennis Rodman, who knows him best, says that President Trump is the perfect person to solve peace. In my personal thoughts and my personal theories, this is not confirmed, this is not off any journalism, it's just based on everything that I've intaken. I think the media, like with everything, is playing the divide and conquer game, tries to turn Trump against Kim Jong-un, and also tries to prevent Kim Jong-un and Trump from talking. And that I actually can back up with CNN evidence. CNN has written multiple articles trying to say how crazy it would be if Trump talked to Kim Jong-un. They don't want him to talk to Kim Jong-un. Trump wants to talk to Kim Jong-un. Do I think his tweets were appropriate and necessary? Probably not. I'm not going to agree with that. But I think it's very disturbing and disgusting that a politician that I personally love, that I personally think has very pure energy, has a good spirit, a good soul, encompasses the aloha spirit of Hawaii, that she would use the failures of the Hawaiian government. If you want to talk about North Korea and Donald Trump, it's 1,000% accurate. It's 1,000% go ahead. I mean, we should have a path to peace. I think so. But to use a failure by the Hawaiian State's government, who, this is a disgusting failure to scare. I mean, imagine if I got one in Los Angeles or somewhere, anywhere in the world, New York City. There's a nuclear missile heading near you. Seek shelter. That's disgusting. I have so much compassion and empathy and sympathy, maybe empathy to the definition, with the Hawaiian people that had to deal with this. But to somehow turn this against President Trump and use this against him when he is trying to talk to Kim Jong-un, it makes absolutely no sense. And it shows time and time again why I don't trust politicians. I always say the only politician that I even remotely trust is Rand Paul, because he seems to want to do the right thing, whether it goes Democrat, Republican, he doesn't matter. He has a set core values. He cares about the Constitution. He's against spying. He's like the only Republican who's talking about us funding terrorists, like similar to Tulsi Gabbard. But Tulsi, while I think she is very pure and above the Democrats, still uses this race, religion, gender game, blame Donald Trump for everything, shout his failures and whisper his successes. And I really, really can't deal with it. And it's become what the Democratic Party is. When the best person, in my opinion, when the realest person on your side is willing to do stuff like this, it's such a turnoff. And as somebody that understands that the liberal values are important in the United States of America, the Democratic Party is a disturbing group of pathological liars, dividers, haters, people with no interest to take reality and call it as they see it. They will politicize anything and everything. They will use the failures of a Democratic politician or a Democratic-run city to blame it on President Trump. I mean, they have no standards. They have no sort of integrity. They can campaign on something for 2 years saying, we need to stop the regime change war in Syria, and then when it happens, you act like it almost never happened. You say 2 words on Tucker Carlson, don't tweet about it, don't put a Facebook post about it, and then just move on. Be like, oh well, I mean, that's what I wanted for 2 years, but it doesn't matter now that Trump did it. I'll just say the opposite. It's disgusting and it's disturbing, and every liberal on the planet should understand the Democratic Party needs to reform. They need to change. They need to have some sort of solution, because these games that they're playing are disgusting. And then you have celebrities like John Legend and Don Lemon. I wouldn't even say Don Lemon's a celebrity. He's just basically a spokesperson for the corporate elite. But John Legend saying, if you even voted for Trump or agree with him on anything, we know we're going to blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, what reality are you paying attention to? You have the right to create this fantasy land, to run off with Washington Post and New York Times and CNN, who retract articles every month and who make up fake stories. You have the right to create a false alternate reality. Someone, you know, I'm not stopping you from creating a fantasy land in your head and amongst your friends. You can blame Hawaii's failures on President Trump. You have the right to do that. I'm not stopping you. You have the right to believe fake articles that have no anonymous sources, and even if the context of what's saying is true, you can make up your own reality. I'm not stopping you from doing that. But unfortunately, with the mainstream media and Democratic and Republican politicians alike, they're not only creating this fake reality, the John Legend fake reality of everyone outside of my liberal bubble isn't telling the truth. Meanwhile, I'm not co-signing Republicans. Like I said, the only one that I even remotely trust on a high level is Rand Paul. The rest of them I don't know enough about to really even weigh in on. But if you think outside of the liberal bubble of John Legend, who supports all 100% of politicians who have no strategies, no solutions, no honest dialogue, they throw labels at stuff to just basically stifle any sort of intelligent conversation. If you think outside that, it's not only that they're creating this fantasy land, this fantasy world where we press the wrong button and it's Trump's fault. We have delusional tendencies, and we're not like mentally healthy, and we're unfit, you know, spiritually. That's Trump's fault. They not only create this false illusion, this false reality that literally doesn't exist, but they want to attack and destroy anybody that thinks outside of their fantasy land. Like I said, you can imagine this, the whole world as it's not. You can imagine America as it's not. You can hate on everybody. You can have no solutions. You can follow a bunch of politicians who don't know anything, that have not even a shred of integrity. But they're a gang, a cartel, a groupthink that wants to destroy any thought outside of them. And they're allying with Facebook. They're allying with Twitter. They're allying with Google. They have all of the Democratic politicians. They have half of the Republican politicians. They have almost all of the newspapers. They own the entire celebrity elite class. It's so backwards in Hollywood that if you're even like Dave Chappelle and you say, hey, let's give this guy a chance. That's what he said on SNL. Dave Chappelle, a genius, said, let's give Trump a chance. And he got lambasted and destroyed by the liberal media and people under the mental slavery, the mental enslavement of the media. He got attacked so hard in his new stand-up, he had to retract everything he said, because it's a PR nightmare to even tell people to give somebody a chance. Not to say I support him, which then you destroy your entire career in Hollywood, but just to say, hey, let's be honest about it. It's a PR nightmare. That's how disturbing these people are. Like I said, I don't care that they make up stuff. I don't care that they're wrong about almost everything. I don't care that they might have some points where, yeah, they have a decent argument, but they're trying to destroy, using 95% of the media, nearly 100% of celebrities and the music industry and all of these industries, to attack and destroy and censor anybody outside of their alternate fake reality. This is really, really disturbing stuff. And even the top Democrat, in my opinion, somebody that I've taken a picture with, that I've met, that I've went to town hall with, and that I still love as a person and support spiritually, emotionally, physically, and I'm sure that they do have Hawaiians' best interests at heart. This is the best that you got. Using a failure by somebody, which, I mean, it's hard, in my opinion, I've never even seen a fake Amber Alert. I've never seen something like this in my life. To say that this was just a blatant mispress of a button, suspect at the very, very least. But when your top politician on your side of the political establishment is not even that great, is not even decent enough to follow through with the Syrian regime change war. When it ends and when Syrians are free and when all this stuff goes right, you don't even really want to talk about it. And then you use an error in your own government to blame on the president. These people, unfortunately, have no level of lowness that they will stoop. And as a liberal, there has to be good liberals out there. I know there's people watching me. If you are a liberal, if you are a Democrat, please reform your party because it has stooped so low. They're not only no longer the party of the working class, they're no longer the party of the people of color, of Black Americans, of Latino Americans, of Muslim Americans, and Christian Americans, and Jewish Americans. They are the party of media deception. They are the party that Malcolm X warned us about. They're the party that Marcus Garvey warned us about, that any intelligent leader, Black, white, or Latino, warned us about. They are the party of pure deception. They are the party of pure lies. They are the party of pure propaganda, of pure political tactics, where their top person will play the same dumb games while offering no solutions. They say something is racist, sexist, or xenophobic, not because they have this brilliant solution on the other side. If they had, hey, that's racist, so here's what we're going to do to protect Americans and people all over the world of all different ethnicities, I'd be like, yeah, cool, because to be honest, I don't think it's the greatest idea to speak like President Trump speaks. You know, I get why people are upset. I understand people have emotions and feelings, so I don't think it's the most effective strategy as far as bringing everyone together. But to shut every argument he has down, say you can't even talk about it, and go as far to say you can't even agree with that, or we're going to try to destroy your character and personally character assassinate you and ruin your life and steal your career from you. They're doing it to NBA players who retweet anti-SJW people. They're trying to destroy their lives just because they don't agree with them, and they don't have anything to agree with when it comes to border security, when it comes to national security, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to taxes, when it comes to DACA, when it comes to anything. They don't care about anything. They don't care even about the stuff that they say they care about, because as soon as it happens, it's not in their best interest to be like, oh, we got what we wanted. It's a constant jump to what's not happening to get you to be like, oh my God, we got to do what they're doing. It's the most disgusting and disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life. As somebody who has never voted Republican, as somebody who has only registered Democrat, who has only voted Democrat, I am disgusted, appalled, and disturbed at what the modern day Democratic Party is. And I don't know how long they've been doing this. I don't know if this has always been their thing. I don't know if they've just fallen to a point recently. But even their top leaders have no level to how far they'll fall. There's nothing that will stop them from doing exactly what all the other Democrats do. I mean, it's a cult. It is now a groupthink cult that they will try to destroy you. Luckily, I'm not a celebrity as far as I don't work in films. And when I make music, I've done it all independently. I don't even have a manager. So not only do I own 100% of everything I make, besides the cuts with the producers, which is great, but I don't have to do anything similar to President Trump, albeit I'm far from a billionaire. He doesn't owe any people political favors. He doesn't owe, he's not owned by the industries that have you tied down. That's why I'm able to say what I say. And most people in my city and all over the world, they respect it. I mean, they think the same things. They're just afraid to say them because they'll lose their job. Luckily, I just don't give an SHIT. So I say these things because it's what everyone else is thinking. But there's such a groupthink cult that if I wanted to go be an actor, which I probably could, if I wanted to go be work with certain people, they don't want to work with me. Luckily, I don't want to work with them either, so it works out. I got better things to do. But they've ruined people's lives. If you're a basketball player, or you're a musician, or you're an actor, and if you don't even have to say, I like Trump. I mean, God forbid you say the truth. And you're like, I like this guy, and I think I think his policies make more sense than Democrats. You'll get destroyed. But even if someone like a Chappelle says, hey, let's give this guy a chance, he gets destroyed just for saying, let's have an open mind. This is the type of mental enslavement that all of the great leaders have warned us about. The fight to me, I've said, is not Democrat versus Republican. It's mental freedom versus mental slavery. I don't care if you agree with me. Most stances, I don't even have a specific stance. I'm learning. I'm a student of life. I'm learning from everyone I listen to. I don't know. I don't know everything. But I don't care what you think. I just care that you do think. I care that you know how to think. Because if you don't know how to think, you'll get played by the Democrats for the next 5 years. And then you'll get played by the Republicans in 5 years. And then you'll get played by the Democrats. And then you'll get played by the Republicans. Like they say, political football. You'll get thrown back and forth if you don't know how to think. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you don't agree with a single policy stance that I have, because I don't even care that much about policy. I care that you do think, that you have the ability to realize that Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, New York Times, Washington Post, MSNBC, Fox News, whoever, they're making a whole a worldwide phenomenon over something that has an unnamed source, or something that they can't even prove is true. Or that they're able to use a document that they self-created and self-funded to spy on political opponents. Now they're spying on political opponents on the basis of something that they created and funded that's not even real. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you agree with me. I just care that you know how to think. And people don't know how to think anymore. They just assume that what they're reading's true. They think the headline's true. They like the smiling politicians, so they agree with them. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to save Americans and save the world. Not that I'm going to be the all-being savior by any means, but I want people to think. I do not want to see my country and this entire world mentally enslaved. And that's what they're doing. It's not that they're saying, I think this and you think that. They're saying, I think this, we think this is right even though we can't prove it. Anything outside of this, what I think is wrong, and it's racist and it's sexist and xenophobic, and if you dare disagree with me and you work in one of these 15 industries, you will not have a job. We will send our cartel of low-energy, crab, passive-aggressive journalists to destroy your life with a pen and pad. They will go to your event, they will watch your 2-hour speech, they will take a 2-minute thing out of context, and they will destroy your life. They do it to every single conservative. And I don't even think, I'm myself. I'm not here to stand up specifically for other conservatives. People are responsible for what they do and say. I'm not their father. I'm not their leader. I'm not responsible for anyone else. I'm responsible for what I do. So I'm not here to backtrack on a bunch of foolish things that conservatives have said. But what I am saying is I've seen events in person. I've seen what they've said. And I watch what the low-energy crab journalists do in the corner. They take 1 or 2 things out of context, and then the whole world believes that that's the big scoop, and that's not the big scoop. So, to wrap this up, disturbing, very disgusting mistakes, scaring the entire state of Hawaii into thinking there's a ballistic missile. And then Democratic politicians, including my favorite Democratic politician, Tulsi Gabbard, use this when people are at their most vulnerable. When people are at their most scared. This is what CNN does. This is like the most disgusting, disturbing time. You scare somebody into oblivion with some fake mistake that you probably made purposely, that somebody, it's very hard for me to believe, huge mistake, people are scared, most vulnerable, and then you hit them with anti-Trump propaganda when President Trump had 0% to do with this Hawaiian mistake. If President Trump was in charge of the Amber Alert style messages, this probably would have never happened. I doubt he would ever let something like this happen. So you're blaming him for something that he has no part in. That's disgusting. That is the most disgusting tactic, and I don't care if it's a Republican saying it. I'm sure there's Republicans who hate Trump on Twitter saying the same thing. You know what? They should be disgusted and ashamed of themselves too. I don't care who says it. It's just not a big label game to me. I don't care what people say other people are. I don't hear what they say and who people say they are. I hear what they mean. I'm listening to what they are meaning. So I don't play this game. You can't label me. You can label other people, but it doesn't matter to me. It's disgusting to create an event like this, somebody to make a huge flaw themselves, and to somehow use that to group your whole state together that is scared out of their mind, rightfully so. Hawaii is a beautiful state, and I plan to do as much as I can to protect the people of Hawaii and to stop things like federal government and tourists from ruining Hawaii. And I plan to work with Hawaiians. I know Hawaiians specifically that have, lived on the land for hundreds of years, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure Hawaii stays Hawaii. And its energy, its culture, and its very rare, mystique, it stays pure. So I'm by no means trying to trash on Hawaii. I love Hawaii. I think it's one of the most amazing places I've ever been. And I love the culture, I love the people, and I love the energy there. But to use an event like this to mobilize your people against somebody that has nothing to do with it, disgraceful. And it's what the Democratic Party, unfortunately, now is. They are a cult. The media is a cult. Celebrity culture is a cult. The music industry politically is a cult. And if you dare even make a suggestion outside of that, like say, hey, I want to pay less taxes. Like, what do you guys think if I voted Republican because I want to pay less taxes? You get destroyed. Your career gets destroyed. Your character gets destroyed. Your fan base gets destroyed. The media rips you to shreds just for thinking with your own mind. That is slavery. That is mental slavery. Doesn't matter your color. Doesn't matter your religion. Doesn't matter your ethnicity. There is an effort to mentally enslave the entire world in this groupthink philosophy, and it's not going to work. It didn't work this last election. It didn't work with President Trump. It didn't work in England with Brexit. It's not going to work all over Europe because the truth will prevail. It's already prevailed. It's going to continue to prevail. And the only way for Democrats to rekindle whatever they're trying to do, which I have no idea what they're trying to do anymore because they've lost me. I'm all about love, peace, positivity, good energy, spirituality, speaking to people kindly. I'm with it, but I don't know what they're doing anymore specifically. The only way you're going to win in the modern world, it is a new era. You can't do the smoke and mirrors. You can't scare people into oblivion and then try to convince them to vote Democrat. You can't use race, religion, and gender to divide anybody anymore. You need to just have a platform. You need to have a solution, and you need to reach across the barrier because there's more people now than ever. Might not be conservative. They might be libertarian, or they might be like an honest person. There's millions of them. Millions of people who are lifelong Democrats that will never vote Democrats again. They're not racist, they're not sexist, they're not xenophobic. They're just sick and tired of the BS. I'm sick and tired of the BS. Millions of people are sick and tired of the BS. Maybe billions of people are sick and tired of the BS. It's a global phenomenon, and it's going nowhere. It's just going to continue to rise. So this is my message to Democrats. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the fact that you're trying to be nicer than the conservatives and you're trying to stand up for everybody, but for God's sake, have a platform, have a solution, have ideas, be able to make a compromise, be able to congratulate someone when they do something that is a liberal policy. Do something. Have even an ounce of integrity, have even an ounce of self-respect and ingenuity, or whatever word you want to put there, because it's not going to work. And I will, along with a lot of people, the movement is growing, not going to allow you to turn the United States and the world into this Orwellian society where if you even think outside of the box and you have a free thought and you're like, hey, let's tell the truth, that they come down on you so hard that you can't even make a living, because that's not fair to people in the music industry. That's not fair to people in Hollywood. That's not fair to people in the NBA. That's not fair to people who work anywhere. I don't care where they work, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that if the NBA turns against somebody like Andrew Bogut, I already told him, I sent him just something on Twitter. I don't even know if he's seen it, but I was like, if the journalists try to destroy you for retweeting people on Twitter, I'll do everything in my power to expose them for the hypocrites that they are, and to make sure that people know the truth, and that people know you don't have to agree. You can think this way, you can think that way, but you can't destroy somebody's life for thinking other than you, especially when that person might be smarter than you, and that person might have a real solution, and you have nothing. That's all for today. Much love. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the world. God bless Hawaii. I am so sorry. I love Hawaii. I'm going back this year. I love that place, and I'm very disturbed that whoever is in charge over there pushed the wrong button and sent the entire state into shock. That's disgusting stuff. The FCC leader, Ajit Pai, said he's going to look into it, and I hope he does, because the people of Hawaii deserve better than a fake scare, whether it be from Republicans, Democrats, left, right, black, white, who cares really? That's all made up stuff that they do anyway. You shouldn't have to deal with a fake nuclear threat. That's disgusting stuff. I hope they get to the bottom of who really made the mistake and why they did it, and make sure that never happens again. And at the same point, that we make sure that there is no nuclear threat. I agree to the extent of, yes, we need to have talks with North Korea, but we're doing that. We'll do that. We're going to do that. In 2 years, it's going to be done. We're going to solve all this. I can feel it. The good vibes are here. The aloha spirit's here. So much love, much blessings. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to post my links below. If you'd like to sign up to my email list, it's free. If you'd like to grab a shirt or a hat, dreamrare.com. There's new Don't Be a Low Energy crab designs. And of course, as always, my link, if you would like to support with donations, I appreciate it. But if not, don't worry about it. I get messages all the time. People say, Anomaly, I got to pay this and that. Don't worry about it. It's a suggestion. I appreciate. Don't feel like you have to donate or buy something just to support, or that I don't care. I care. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your likes. I appreciate you if you watch and listen and, just consider what I'm saying. Even if you never spend a dime or you never even comment, I don't care. Just know that I appreciate you, and focus on yourself. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. I don't need it. It's not like mandatory. I just do it because that's part of the game. I say it, I post the links, and that's what it is. But don't ever feel obligated, and don't feel the need to message me to say why you didn't. I don't care. I appreciate you so much, even if you never do anything but consider what I'm saying. So thank you again. Have an amazing week. We're going to have an amazing year. And I'm so sorry to Hawaii that they had to deal with this. It's disgraceful, and it's terrible. Thank you so much.